Hi, bedcrimers, it's T. This is the story of a 14-year-old girl who died a brutal death. The perpetrator who left her remains in large contractor bags along a lonely stretch of highway in Globe, Arizona, has not yet been identified. This is obviously worrisome because perpetrators who carve up their victims often turn out to be serialists. Hearing the details of how this young woman was found, actually young girl, let's call it like it is, sent me on a spiral this past week. You see, she was last seen alive on the same corner in Mesa, Arizona, where I found my brother in December after he went missing for 2 days. The exact same corner. We got lucky. We found my brother before anything really bad happened. This young girl was not so lucky. I'm talking about a Native American girl named Emily Pike from the San Carlos Apache Reservation. How Emily ended up living in a group home for girls ages 7 to 17 in Mesa, Arizona, is a sad story. Now, although this hasn't been verified, some say that Emily struggled with her mental health, and to get access to the resources she needed, she had to leave the reservation, leave her parents, and move 120 miles away. The drive between the reservation and this group home takes around 2.5 hours. Now, according to a friend of Emily's who lived in the same group home in Mesa for 4 years, on Monday, January 27th of 2025, Emily snuck out of the group home around 7:45 p.m. And according to this friend, she did this in order to visit a boy that she'd met while taking guitar lessons. The friend believes that Emily took advantage of a moment when a church group was at the group home engaging everybody in some activities. So that's when Emily slipped out of the house on foot. Tragically, the last time Emily was seen alive was on that same day, Monday, January 27th, near that intersection of Mesa Drive and McKellips Road in Mesa, Arizona. Now, when the group home noticed that Emily was missing, they reported it to the police department in Mesa. But everyone, including the police and the group home, failed to let Emily's parents know for a full week. Imagine having your child go missing, but you don't find out about it until an entire week has gone by. I got a small taste of that when my brother went missing, because I didn't find out until he'd already spent an entire night outside. And I can tell you it's a terrible feeling, because you think to yourself, if only they'd called me right away, I could have gotten over there and I could have looked for him and probably found him. But now all these hours have gone by and he could be anywhere. A little more than 2 weeks later, on what should have been a happy day for Emily, Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, remains were found 100 miles away on Forest Service Road, number 355, northeast of Globe, Arizona. Somebody was out taking a walk nearby when they noticed garbage bags on the side of the road. I shudder to think if that person opened those bags. I think they might have, though, because they called the Gila County Sheriff's Office. But it would take until February 27th for the remains to be identified as Emily Pike. I read that detectives used dental records to make the match. Shockingly, only Emily's head, torso, and legs were found in those bags. Therefore, her arms remain missing. Now, based on where Emily's remains were found off US 60 in Gila County, Arizona, which is heading in a northeast direction, her friend believes that Emily was likely hitchhiking home to the reservation to visit her parents. The friend said, quote, "I feel like she just ran away, and she was trying to hitchhike back to the reservation to see her parents, and she just got picked up by the wrong person," end quote. Now, according to the group home's manager, Emily had actually run away 4 times, 3 of which resulted in missing children's reports, and she ran away twice in 2023 and once in 2025. Clearly, this poor young girl, who was only 14, unknowingly crossed paths with a monster full of rage. Not only was the body taken apart, but Emily's face and head shows signs of trauma and bruising. So it would appear that whoever took her used fists or who knows what on her face and her head. That takes a special kind of evil. Whoever did this needed many things. 1, they needed a hidden away location so that no one would catch them in the act. They also needed enough time to pull off that act because it does take time. They also needed the right tools. This person also needed to have the stomach to do something this gruesome and messy. So I'm wondering if the perpetrator might be a butcher, that's what Jack the Ripper was, a surgeon, or perhaps a hunter. But then again, Alex Cox of the Doomsday Story, perhaps along with Chad Daybell, likely did this to Tylee Ryan and little JJ, and neither of them, as far as I know, had these hobbies. It's possible that Chad Daybell was a hunter, but I'm not sure he was somebody who regularly cut up deer. Now, law enforcement has said that they have 3 suspects, and I'm wondering if one of them could be the boy that Emily allegedly snuck out to see. That's just me speculating. We've talked about what was done to Emily, but we haven't really talked about Emily. According to her mother, Emily loved butterflies and art, and she was a shy, quiet girl with an infectious smile. One of her relatives actually likened her to Tinkerbell, sparkling and full of life. Emily's grandmother has said that she's been crying every single day over the loss of her only grandchild. Yes, she only had the one grandchild, and that was Emily. Emily also, according to her relatives, loved all things pink and sparkly. I can definitely relate to that. That was me as a little girl, and that's still me today. Knowing how young she was, and that she may have had mental health struggles, and that she was so far away from her family, makes this story all the more upsetting. Somebody preyed on a naive young girl, and that somebody was cold as ice. Very violent and very sick. Let's hope this person is found as soon as possible, because in my opinion, this is likely somebody who either has done this before and or will do it again. Now, much has been made about the particular group home and the fact that over the past 3 years, 30 kids have gone missing from it. And in fact, its website currently says that it's been permanently closed. I'm not going to name it right now, but supposedly it's been in existence for 24 years. Now, here's a possible explanation for those 30 missing children's reports. The group homes manager said that they have to report all children as missing, even if the kids leave to go to the store without permission. The manager explained that the majority of these reports are regarding the same child leaving without permission. The manager also stated that they never put their hands on children, so they do not try to stop the kids from leaving. Their modus operandi is to typically call the Mesa Police Department, stay on the phone with the police, and follow the children until the police can arrive and assist them. So the manager disputes the reports about the 30 children going missing. She said all of their kids who were reported missing have been accounted for. She also said that the children who did not return to the group home were placed in other facilities, sometimes in order to get them a higher level of care for their safety. The manager said some kids run away because they miss their families. Some run because they don't like the home's rules and structure. Per the manager, on the day Emily Pike went missing, the staff followed all protocols. And she also said that detectives have interviewed her and other residents as part of Emily's investigation. Unfortunately, there have been trolls threatening the staff of the group home, blaming the group home for Emily leaving, for her somehow finding her way out of the house without anybody noticing right away. And DCS has opened a licensing inquiry into the home. According to Channel 12 News in Arizona, the Mesa PD was called to this home at least 89 times over the past 3 years. 42 of those calls were for a missing person, and 30 of the calls resulted in a report being generated. The 30 reports involved 18 different juveniles and 2 different adults. Now, some of the calls to police were for welfare checks, unaliving attempts, and reports of SA, but the majority were for missing persons. The Gila County Sheriff's Office is now investigating Emily's death, along with the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the FBI. The San Carlos Apache PD has also joined the investigation. Emily's brutal demise has been especially disturbing for Native American communities, and that's because more than 1.5 million American Indian and Alaska Native women have experienced violence in their lifetimes. Native American and Alaska Native rates of unaliving, SA, and other violent crimes are all higher than the national averages. So when a Native American female goes missing and is later discovered unalived, it touches a deep nerve in the community. 14-year-old Emily, a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, has become a symbol of this violence, of these attacks on Native American females. Now, here's what I believe a profiler would say about this perpetrator. It's a male. He harmed Emily in a place that was under his control. Think of Rex Heuermann and his basement area. One where he was not worried about being interrupted during the hours when he did what he did. Does he live alone, or was he alone at the time of the crime so that he knew he could take his time? Because what he did takes time. And also, how long was Emily with this person? She ran away from the group home on January 27th. Her remains were found on February 14th. So who knows when Emily died? Did she die right after running away? Or did this perpetrator hold her for an extended period? And why did he do what he did to her? Was he trying to avoid getting caught? Was he trying to avoid having her fingerprints being used to identify her? Whoever this person is full of rage. This is a very intimate, up-close, in-your-face type of crime. And it shows such a degree of depravity. You have to wonder, did the perpetrator know Emily and dislike her for some reason? Or did he just happen to come upon her? And is that how they met? Now, unfortunately, if Emily was hitchhiking, that would have put her at a higher level on the risk continuum. She was presumably alone, out on the road. As a 14-year-old female, that also added to her risk level on the risk continuum. Emily also had run away 3 times before, and if she didn't have any bad experiences, that could have emboldened her to make this 4th attempt. Maybe she thought nothing bad happened before, so I really don't have to worry about this, and I just want to go home now, so I'm going to head in that direction. All I can say is I hope they find the perpetrators soon. And if you have any information about this case, please call the Gila County Sheriff's Office at 928-200-2352. That's 928-200-2352. And I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. And if you want to support the work I do, please consider a membership or perhaps a PayPal donation. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.